The state of California is launching a lawsuit against some of the biggest oil and gas companies on the planet, accusing them of deceiving the public for decades.
So the suit claims the companies engaged in a massive cover-up of the environmental risks associated with fossil fuels. The suit accuses Shell, Exxon, Mobil, BP, ConocoPhillips, and Chevron of downplaying the risks associated with burning fossil fuels. It also says that action caused billions of dollars in damage to communities and the environment. The lawsuit claims the oil companies created a public nuisance, destroyed natural resources, and violated false advertising and product liability laws. Earlier today, California Attorney General Rob Bonta told CBS News why he's confident the state can win the suit.
We have smoking guns. We have their own words that we will show in court. We have great evidence around deception. The science is clear around climate change. We have strong causes of action and a great factual basis.
Let's bring in Korey G. Silverman-Roati now. He's a senior fellow at the Sabin Center for Climate Change. Korey, the Attorney General sounds pretty confident about this case. But
smoking gun.
What does your research on climate litigation tell you about the challenges in winning something like this?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Errol and Chanel. So this California case comes on the heels of more than 25 cases filed around the country against fossil fuel companies on behalf of cities, counties, and states. And they all allege similar claims that California does, that the fossil fuel companies deceptively marketed their products as safe, when in fact they cause significant billions of dollars of damages in the forms of wildfires and heat waves. So a key challenge that California faces in this case is that they're facing defendants with immense resources and an incentive to make these cases as expensive and challenging as possible for the plaintiffs. So all of these cases in this broader wave of litigation have been bogged down in this fight over whether they could be heard in federal or state court for the last 5 years. And the plaintiffs just won that fight. So now we're going to hear the rest of these legal arguments in state court going forward.
So, Korey, what's the goal here? I mean, what does the state really want to accomplish with this lawsuit?
Yeah, so California has had to pay billions of dollars to adapt to climate change, to deal with the consequences of climate change, to reorient their economy in the face of these threats. So they're asking for the court to order the fossil fuel companies to pay billions of dollars in damages as a result of the harms that their products cause. They're asking for a court order to order the fossil fuel companies to stop their deceptive behavior. And they're asking for an abatement fund in the form of billions of dollars provided by these fossil fuel companies to help California meet these vast expenses.
It really is fascinating because I think previous efforts like this have failed. I know that many of the states, as you've mentioned, have filed similar cases. And there was one instance in Montana where children sued the state.
Right.
And I think they won that case. But talk to us about how this is different, how there are some similarities, and how it's kind of like new territory for us all.
Yeah. So this wave of litigation started in 2017, but there have been previous efforts to hold fossil fuel companies accountable in federal court. There's been this effort to hold state governments accountable, which we saw in the Montana case. So a key difference between this case and that case is that that case was against the government, whereas this case is against the private companies. It's the government, in fact, that's suing them and trying to get, help to deal with these immense costs that they're seeing. But we're seeing climate litigation expand all across the country and all across the world as governments are having to face billions and billions of dollars of expenses.
So, Korey, what is Big Oil saying about this, if anything?
Yeah, so a key argument for the oil companies and fossil fuel company defendants in general is that they argue that courts are not the right venue to deal with these claims. They argue that they're political questions. They shouldn't be heard out in courts, and they should be dealt with in legislative and executive bodies. I think the plaintiffs would counter that the fossil fuel company, when they go to those legislative and executive bodies, they argue that they shouldn't take any action, and as a result, those bodies have not taken action over the last few decades, meaningfully taken action in response to the crisis.
Okay, lots to follow with this story. Korey, thanks for your time and perspective. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Korey.
Thanks so much.